At some point in your life, I think everybody should at least work at a fast food job or a retail job to understand my situation. And I'm sure anybody who worked at any of those places would know exactly how this kind of situation works. So, I have a story for you guys. My first job that I ever done was a fast food job, and I've worked at a KFC. And I was like about like 19 years old. I started college, and it was around, let's say, around mid fall towards winter break. Let's just say it started around there. Before I even got the job, I was desperately trying to find any place that would hire me. You know, you saw a lot of hiring signs. I tried to look up online. I would go in, ask for applications, and nothing. Like, I had no luck trying to find a place, and it was ridiculous, especially for the ones that said they needed people to hire. I wasn't getting the call back. I was for sure trying. Like, I had a resume ready. I had dressed nice. I walked in. I asked for the manager. I got up early, which is really hard for me to do, and I was like off to go find a different job. Not a different job, but job by job. Anyway, so I was getting no calls, and I was like almost giving up hope and everything until one day I actually finally got a call, and my first call ever was KFC, and I got an interview. So I was excited. I looked nice. I was ready to go. I aced that interview, and I got the job, and I started on whichever day I started on. So all I did at that place, I took orders. I did this lobby that they had, and I did the buffet that they used to do, and they don't have it anymore, which kind of sucks. But anyway, I took orders. I dealt with some customers, and everybody seemed nice so far. Like, I didn't really have any issues with anybody. I had this one trainer. He taught me everything he knows. He was a really cool guy. And what sucked is that I've worked with him for like maybe 2 weeks. And that was my first 2 weeks there, and I was getting the hang of things. And he said he was going to quit. Which, you ever had that favorite coworker that you think they're going to be there for a while, but then all of a sudden they decided to just switch it up on you and say, hey man, I'm leaving, but good luck. The rest is up to you. That's what it felt like. And I was kind of like, well, he's leaving, but thank you for teaching me everything you know. So far, days would go by. I would work like these kind of a short shift, like maybe 3 hours, and then I started to get better. You start picking up more hours, and I wasn't usually alone when I'm working up front. I always have somebody who's experienced there with me until I was able to handle things on my own. And like I said, I didn't really do much. I did my normal routine: take orders, clean up, deal with some customers, and then sometimes if I close, I'll go home. Simple as that. Working at KFC, it was kind of an experience in a way. Like, I didn't have no problem whatsoever. Like, things were kind of going smoothly. I just needed a job for rent, and I wasn't gonna stay there for like forever. I just needed to get by. Well, they like to do this thing over the holidays where they had stockings they would give to the employees. We had like some Christmas parties every now and then, and it was a good time. Like, we'll do it like after close, and that's when I knew. I was like, hey, this is a pretty cool job. The managers, they were all right. None of them were mean. They were really helpful, and that's like a rare thing that you do when you go to a job. Is eventually the manager's looking onto you, but even if you did mess up, they were actually pretty chill. However, this is where things started to head south in my end. So, there was one day, my drawer. If you don't know how certain places work, they give you your own register that you have to count, and then if it matches the amount that you've given, then that is your responsibility. And that can happen anywhere if you're working the front registers. Most people, if you worked fast food or retail job, you would know exactly what I mean. So I count my drawer, everything was good. I go by my day, and at the end of my shift, they close out your drawer, and then the manager on duty counts it. So you actually, for this place, you're actually not allowed to leave until they finish counting your drawer and everything. So I wait until that's done, and then the manager calls me in. So I go in, and then they're like, "Hey man, your drawer is like 10 cents short." And I was like, it's 10 cents short. That can't be, because I counted everything properly. I handed out the money to the customers, the proper change. I double check it and everything. And they were like, "Yeah, the drawer was still 10 cents short." But the manager on that duty at the time, he was chill about it, and he was like, "It's just 10 cents, don't worry about it." So I said, okay. Then some people started to get a little iffy about me, so I would work a shift one day, and then it's not like super slow, but it's not super busy either. But they said, they looked at me and they were like, "Hey, you can go ahead and go home." And I was like, "All right, that's no problem." So I clock out, I go home, enjoy the rest of my day. Let's fast forward maybe 4 months. 4 months prior, I do the same thing, and then all of a sudden, my manager calls me again towards the end of my shift, and was like, "Hey, your drawer is 16 cents short." And I was like, "That can't be." Around this time, I was actually pretty good at my job, so every time my drawer register, was short, I was like, I double checked everything. I counted all of my stuff, and I don't know why my drawer was like coming up a few changes short. And the manager there was like starting to get a little bit worried about me. Like, you ever had those feelings where if you do something wrong at your job, the manager or anybody starts to get suspicious of you? And that's kind of how I felt. Like, the whole energy suddenly like changed, and I don't know why it was going directly towards me, because I always did my job there. I've always been a hard worker, and I've always had a positive attitude. I did everything I could to stay away from trouble, Well, I guess it didn't matter, because for whatever reason, they decided to make a little plan to fire me. And this is where things kind of went downhill for me. So I winded up going to work one day. Like, I checked my schedule. I was supposed to work a Wednesday. Let's just say it was a Wednesday. And I walk in, and I notice there is a lot more employees working the shift. So I'm sitting here going, is there something going on today? Why do we have so many people here? And then one of the managers that was there even said, we have way too many people here. So then they look at the schedule. I'm getting ready to clock in, and then the other manager calls me in. So he goes, "You're actually not on the schedule." I was like, "Really? I thought I'd work today," because it was my name actually was on it when I was there. But they said he also said, did this person not tell you?" Which was the GM at the time. And I go, "No, tell me what?" And they were like, "You actually no longer work here." And I said, "Excuse me?" It's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh," in the back of my head, I'm like, why would you not tell anybody? Why would you not tell me that I don't work here? Like, what did I do wrong? Is it because of the 16 cents shortage that I had? And the other me was like, oh, the part of me said, oh, well, I guess this is it. And I gotta tell you guys, the walk of shame that I had to deal with leaving the place, it did not feel good. Like, it was kind of cruel that the fact that they didn't tell me, I had to walk in to find out on my own that I got fired. I'm like, did you just not have the heart to tell me in person? Like, I mean, I know it would have sucked, but it would have been a little bit more less humiliating if I would have been noticed instead of me walking from my house all the way to this job. So yeah, that was part of my whole first experience, is working at a fast food place, and it was at KFC. It sucked that I got fired for like a small bit of change, but most places like that nowadays, they do take it very, very seriously. So the people out there on your first day, I would recommend you guys double check your drawer when they put it in. And this is for all the newcomers. Make sure you double check it and make sure you give the right change, because some people, they don't do it on camera. They can try to sabotage you. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just saying, I'm just being pretty upset because it does bother me that I got like fired for over 16 cents. But that was the end of the KFC experience that I had. I mean, it was an okay start of my fast food journey, but it didn't stop there. Like, maybe a few months later, I winded up working at another place, and I will tell that whole story of that one the next time I get through. But I hope you guys enjoyed my little time that I had, my little experience that I have at KFC. I hope whatever job that you guys start off with, it'll have a much experience for you. You guys take care of yourselves. Have a good day, and I will catch you guys later.